One of the most common questions we get from our clients, whether they're first-time home buyers or they've owned a home for 40 or 50 years, is how is this real estate market going to affect my homeowner's insurance? And it's a great question, right? The real estate market's a lot different today than it was a year or 2 or 3 years ago. But the most important thing to think about from a homeowner's insurance perspective is the cost to rebuild that house, not necessarily what the market value is. Sometimes those things can be pretty similar. Sometimes they can be drastically far apart. By way of example, if you lived in California or Florida right on the beach and you have this gorgeous oceanfront view, those houses can go for $5 or $10 or $15 or $20 million, right? That doesn't necessarily mean that if we had to rebuild that, that's what the house would cost, because part of it is the land and the view, which isn't going anywhere. So what we look at when we're determining how much we should cover your home for is what the replacement cost is. And the real estate market doesn't really have an effect in that. But what does is the cost of labor and materials. And right now we're seeing labor and materials go up. Lumber prices earlier this year were front and center in major financial publications like the Wall Street Journal and the Financial Times. Those prices were going up big time. They've kind of come down and plateaued, but that is what's going to affect your homeowner's insurance premium. How much, if we have to rebuild that house, is it going to cost? And how much is that different than last year? So the good news is you don't really have to know this, because insurance companies are using calculators that they design with building material pricing built in to figure out how much it's going to take to rebuild your house based on your square footage, the composition of materials that your house is built out of, the finishes in your kitchen and bathrooms and things like that. So they have a good idea to make sure that you're appropriately insured at the right level. We would never want to see a situation where someone's house was a total loss and they didn't have the proper coverage to rebuild. So the real estate market doesn't really impact it so much, but the labor and material market does impact it big time. Call us. We're happy to go over this with you, and we're happy to look at your particular situation in depth with you. Everyone's situation is a little different in insurance and in life in general, and that's why you want to have an agent you can trust and you can call to be able to walk you through and help you with these things, and that's why we're here.